Hello, good afternoon from Colony Brescia and www.heavymetal.it. We are here with DC Cupid! Here it is.
Hi, good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, just
¿Cómo
fine.
está?
Benissimo, grazie. What is the feeling of being here in Italy again?
Today it's a really good feeling because we had a day off yesterday in Verona. We had a nice, a great day off. You know, we did 6 shows in a row, and 6 shows in a row in 3 countries. So we did a lot of traveling, and everybody was timed to get out of the bus. You know, so we had a nice day off, some wine, and got to sightsee a little bit. So that was great. And everybody's batteries are recharged today.
Okay. And what about your encounter with Amarone?
Yes, what a
Amarone.
fantastic. Yeah, it was we tried a couple different types of wine, so yeah, it was good.
It was good. Yeah. And you found the way home
Yeah,
after the dinner?
Yeah. A good friend of mine, you know, he came out and met us for dinner and took us around for a while and got us back to the hotel.
Okay, so let's start. Let's have some interview, okay? Show Me How to Live, in my opinion, recalls in some way the old Royal Hunt style. So while the new A Life to Die For shows more complex and progressive elements, what do you think about that?
I think it fits the band very, very well. You know, for me, I like it because, you know, I don't want to say even more bombastic, but it's more theatrical. Like on the song A Life to Die For, I was able to, you know, really kind of belt my opera voice out, which I have never really done anything like that on any recordings before. So that's one of my favorite tunes on the album. And yeah, so it's I think it's kind of stepped up. You know, Andre, you know, took more real string section and everything. You know, before he would have, you know, on a couple of the other albums and stuff previous, he would do like, you know, a cello player, cello solo, this and that. But he had, you know, real strings on a lot of the album. And I just think it gives, you know, whenever you have real strings compared to keyboards, I think it's it just gives it a little bit more of a color and characteristic to it.
Why did you feel the need to involve orchestra, musician, and chorister?
Well, like I said, I think it brings a new element, an element that's always been in Royal Hunt, but I think it just makes it more alive. It makes it more real. You know, my hope and dream someday is to do a small orchestra tour.
Yeah.
You know, I've been bugging Andre for a while, and you know, I know we're going to be. I can't say anything yet because I don't know anything, but you know, I have my fingers crossed. It's kind of a dream of mine to do. Be on stage with, you know, an orchestra and a band. You know, that's kind of a dream of mine.
We look forward to. Okay, so the new songs have been rearranged for the tour.
I'm sorry?
The new songs, they have been rearranged for this tour.
Yeah, because A Life to Die For, I think it's like a 9-minute song, and you know we have the set timed out pretty good right now. So there was just a couple there's a couple surprises and changes, but not anything major.
On the new album, for instance, the title track, you sing in a kind of operatic way. Is this a new approach for you, or is it a style that already belongs to you? Tell us something about your studies as a baritone.
Well, I studied, you know, for 5 years, opera training. So, like I had said earlier, you know, I was able to kind of. It was just something that I felt, you know, especially the mid parts where you know there's the breakdown during the song on the album. You know, it just kind of fit. I couldn't figure out what to do, and then all of a sudden, because I recorded my vocals in Pittsburgh in my studio, and my engineer he's like, you know, try this, try that, you know, and we tried a couple things, and I just wasn't happy, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, like, I was actually kind of goofing around. If you could have a life, and I just started messing around, and I'm like, okay, but that was actually that whole run was done in one take. On the album, it was one take because it just kind of went, it felt good. So, like, after it was over, my engineer, Dave Watson, he was just like, you know, we had it down pretty good, so I'm happy with it.
Okay, perhaps in the titles of the song, I think lyrics are referring to nowadays. Okay. not in a positive way. So what do you want to communicate with a title like "A Life to Die For"?
Well, I mean, he's the main, writer, but, I understand a lot what he's kind of going for, having to do with the modern times right now. To me, though, see, it's hard for me to explain lyrics because, like with Royal Hunt, these aren't my lyrics, so I can only get out my point of view and my perspective. But I think mine definitely differs from his. Whenever I'm writing my own stuff, I try not to even explain my own lyrics to somebody because a song could mean this to somebody and then mean this to somebody else. So I try not to talk too much about the lyrics and what they mean because they could mean something completely different to somebody else. Just like sounds like we differ, which that's what music's all about. Your own personal perspective and understanding whatever you get.
It's your point of view.
Sure.
Okay. One of your favorable markets is surely the Russian, Ukrainian one. You already have many dates scheduled here. Do you think you can play without problems given the current conflict involving the two countries?
We're watching everything every hour. We're getting updates, and Kiev was already canceled, so we're not going to Kiev. Royal Hunt, it's kind of weird because there's been quite a few different times where we've been in a position where we were in Japan, 7 or 8 days after the tsunami. We were there at right after the Kobe, Osaka earthquake in 96, and it was just kind of the same thing. It was different there because we had to go because the people need something to take their minds off of what's going on. We're not going to jeopardize our lives over music and everything like that because, I have my family, my kids to think about, and my family's not very happy with me right now because we are going to the Ukraine. But, if it gets that bad, then no, we won't go. We'll figure out something. But, we're watching it every hour. We get updates, and, I'm more worried about a couple other issues, like kind of like the relations between the United States and Russia.
Yeah.
I really don't. There was a band that I know that they just did some shows. In fact, they did a show in Crimea, and they were like, "There's nothing. There's no problems. They didn't see anything. The fans were great." And I think even some of the people feel indifferent about it. They're kind of like, whatever. And I'm not going to say anything more because I try to keep myself from being political. So. I don't want to say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden I have the State Department from the United States going like, "Don't say that," we have a medium of music that we can go out there and we can share it, But I've always remained or tried to remain politically correct throughout. I don't know how many different situations over the years. I've been traveling and touring for 20 years now, and you just have to keep in mind where you are, your surroundings, and if we don't feel safe, then we will go.
This is the answer I was expecting for keep safe. What about Australia? It's your first time.
Yes, we're going to land down under. It's actually this tour we're going to China for the first time, Australia for the first time, Taiwan, that'll be our first time there, and Ukraine. So there's 4 countries we've never been to before. So we're looking forward to with Australia, we're just not looking forward to the 18-hour flight. Okay.
What about Australia?
Yeah, from Australia, then we go back to China, and then from China, yay, then I go home.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
We will follow you on YouTube and social network because we see that you are very present on the internet. Facebook and so on. It's a good mean to communicate in live with all your fans. You like it?
Well, we can't.
The power, the function of the mean.
Yeah, during every show, you'll hear me say it. Where I go to the people. The fans that are there to see us, I ask them, okay, it's kind of a favor to me, and it's actually coming alive a lot more than it ever was before on any of the tours we had done. I asked them, if you like the show, please tell everybody on Twitter and on Facebook and spread the word, because for bands like us, any band like us, we need the social media to help us out. It's the only way we're going to get the word out there, because it's, I think every day, every week, the music industry gets more difficult and more difficult. Actually, I think there's two. I think it's split now. There's the music industry, and then there's the music business.
Exactly.
I think they're two totally different things. Over here is the record companies. Over here is social media and everything like that. That's the music industry. So I think they're completely far apart.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to kind of not cater to the music industry, which involves the social media, but I'm kind of just coming right out and saying, please, please, please share. Share. If you like what you hear, because that's the only way a band like us are going to survive.
Yeah. And what about the DC not on stage version? What about your spare time?
When I'm home?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
DC the person, not the singer.
Yeah, I mean, there for quite a few years I was running as a paramedic and a firefighter, and I just, over the past 2 years, I went through some very drastic and serious changes in my life that was pretty heavy. And I'm no longer in emergency medicine, and the firefighting, I'm not sure. I might get back into them again, I think, but maybe under a different capacity, because it was just too much. It was just too much anymore, quite a few years. And I'm a very sensitive guy, I take a lot of stuff here, and, just seeing what I was seeing all the time was kind of difficult. But right now, at this present time, I'm full-time, back to doing full-time music again, which is really great.
And we're happy.
Yes, I hope so. The new solo album is in the works, so that's news that I can share with everybody. I mean, as soon as I get done with this tour, go back into the studio and continue rolling on. And so far, we have 4 songs completed, and the album's pretty much written. But DCCooper.com is up and running, so stop in and check it out. And
we know it's pretty cool, your new website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had actually my bass player, Vinny Salvatore, is the one who designed the whole thing, and then Natalia Tristaya from Russia, she did all the photography work, and I think I have a pretty good team of people together right now. My solo guys, my band. I'm still lacking a keyboard player, which I'm in search of, but my vision is more of a live situation, because I'm looking at having a couple special things involved with the live show. So, yeah. And it's not going to be a small operation, that's for sure, which is going to make it difficult whenever it comes time to tour. But, yeah, it's in the works, and the rest of the time, I spend as much time with my kids as I possibly can. My studio is running pretty good as far as vocal coaching, doing vocal production and writing, stuff like that. And spending time with my kids, family, riding my dirt bike,
Yeah, the dirt bike.
Yes, so my KTM, love it. And, so I kind of you've known me for a couple years, and I was definitely heavy into emergency medicine, and I just had to step away, and I'm smiling a lot more these days.
This is important.
Yeah. Whenever I walked away from emergency medicine, about 5 weeks after that, whenever I started to get myself together here, my 11-year-old son, which this was 2 years ago, he had come over and he put his arm around me and said, "Dad, it's good to see you smile again." And I was like, oh.
Wow.
I was like, wow, was I that bad? And he was like, yeah, you kind of were. He's a very empathetic son. He's both my sons. They're the coolest. They're the greatest. Hi, Clayton and Carson, if you see this.
Hi. Okay, that's all, folks. That's it from Colony. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing all this with us.
Yes.
And see you on the stage tonight.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you soon.